Adaura was scrubbing cassava at the river when her daughter started screaming. Not a normal scream. This was the sound of someone whose body was doing something impossible. She ran. Her feet slipped on wet rocks. Her heart was trying to burst through her chest. Zikora! Her daughter was on her knees in the shallow water, clawing at her legs, screaming, and that's when Adaura saw them. Scales spreading up from her ankles, shimmering, growing, right there in the afternoon sun. Mama, what's happening to me? 20 years. Adaura had 20 years, and she'd started believing maybe the mermaid had forgotten. But behind them, the water rippled. A woman's head broke the surface, smooth and dark and smiling. Hello, Adaura, that voice said, cold like deep water. Did you really think I would forget? 20 years ago, Adaura made a promise she thought she'd never have to keep, a promise that gave her everything she ever wanted. And now, that promise has come to take it all away. The desperate beginning. 5 years of marriage, and Adaura's womb stayed empty. 5 years of her mother-in-law's eyes following her round the compound. 5 years of whispers that stopped when she walked past. 5 years of her husband, Obi, coming to her mat less and less, his face turned to the wall. Barren woman, they said. Not to her face, never to her face. But she heard it anyway. At the market, at the well, in the way women pull their children closer when she walked by, like emptiness was something they could catch. Her wrapper was faded from washing, tied tight above her breasts. She fetched water twice a day, cooked, cleaned, tried to make herself useful, tried to make herself worth keeping. Obi's mother had started talking about a second wife. A man needs children, she said, pounding yam in the compound. What is a man without sons? Adaura's hands shook every time. She'd drop things. A pot, a cup. Her mother-in-law would click her tongue. That sound was worse than screaming. At night, Adaura prayed, on her knees, forehead to the ground, begging God, begging her ancestors, begging anyone who would listen. Her knees had permanent marks from the hard floor, purple and yellow bruises that never quite healed. Please, she whispered, please, I'll do anything. The other women had children. Babies strapped to their backs, toddlers running between compounds. Their laughter felt like knives, not because they meant to hurt her, because they didn't even notice she was hurting. One woman, Nkechi, had 5 children. 5. She complained about them constantly. They're too much work, she said, fanning herself at the market. I'm tired every day. Adaura wanted to shake her, wanted to scream. Instead, she smiled, nodded, went home and cried into her pillow so no one would hear. Obi stopped touching her completely around year 4. What's the point? He said one night. Not cruel, just tired. That was worse, somehow. He wasn't a bad man. That was the problem. A bad man she could hate. But Obi was just disappointed. Day after day. Disappointed in her body, in her failure, in the future they'd never have. His mother started inviting young women to the compound. parading them, all of them fertile, all of them watching Adara with pity or contempt or both. Perhaps next year, people said. Every year, keep praying. But 5 years of prayer had given her nothing. Nothing but bruised knees and empty arms and the knowledge that she was about to lose everything. Her husband, her home, her place in the world. The night it happened, Adora couldn't breathe in the compound anymore. The walls were too close, the whispers too loud inside her head. She grabbed her wrapper and ran through the village, past the compounds, past the place where she had any right to be at night, to the river, the sacred river where women weren't supposed to go after dark. She didn't care anymore. She collapsed on the bank, mud soaking into her wrapper, rocks cutting into her knees. She didn't feel it, couldn't feel anything except this howling emptiness. Please, she screamed at the water. Please, someone help me. Her voice cracked. Her whole body shook. Snot and tears mixing on her face. She didn't care. Let the spirits see her like this. Let them see what desperation looked like. I just want a child, she sobbed. That's all. Just one child. I'll do anything. Anything. Please. The water rippled. The woman rose from the water slowly. Too slowly. Like she was deciding whether Adaura was worth the effort. She was beautiful. The kind of beautiful that made you feel sick. Perfect dark skin that seemed to glow. Eyes that were too large, too knowing. Hair that moved underwater like it was alive. Anything, the woman said. Her voice was inside Adara's head, in her ears, in her bones. Adora's throat closed. She tried to speak. Nothing came out. She nodded instead. Fast, desperate nods. The woman smiled. Her teeth were too white. I am Mami Wata, she said. Not an introduction, a statement of fact. You want a child? Yes, Adora managed. Her voice was barely a whisper. Please, I can give you one. Adara's heart started again. You can? A perfect daughter, healthy, beautiful, everything you want. Mami Wata moved closer. The water barely rippled around her, but nothing is free. I'll pay anything, Adora said. The words came out too fast. I have money saved, my mother's jewelry. I'll give you everything. I don't want your money. Mami Wata's smile widened. I want 20 years. 20 years? The child will be yours for 20 years. You'll raise her, love her, watch her grow. 20 years of being a mother. She paused, and then she comes home to me. Adaora's stomach dropped. What do you mean comes home? She'll be mine after 20 years. She'll return to the water. This is my price. No, Adora shook her head. No, I can't. Then go back to your empty compound. Mami Wata started sinking back into the water. Go back to your disappointed husband and his waiting new wife. Go back to being nothing. Wait. The word ripped out of Adaora's throat. Mami Wata stopped. Waited. Adaora's mind was spinning. 20 years. 20 years was forever. 20 years was enough time to have other children, to prove she wasn't barren, to save her marriage. 20 years was a lifetime. And maybe by then, there would be a way out. Maybe she could break the deal somehow. Maybe, if you're thinking you can cheat me, Mummy Water said, reading her thoughts, you can't. The child will be marked. On her 20th birthday, she returns to the water. There is no negotiation, no escape. Accept these terms or leave. Will it hurt her? Adaura whispered. The transformation? Yes. But after, she'll be home. She'll be happy. Mummy Water tilted her head. More than she would be with you eventually. Humans always disappoint their children. Adaura was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. This was wrong. She knew it was wrong. But the thought of going back to that compound, to those whispers, to watching Obi take another wife, 20 years, she said. And she's mine until then? Completely yours. And after she goes, I can have other children? If your body allows it. Mummy Wata's smile was cold. I'm only taking what's mine. Adadora closed her eyes. 20 years. Her daughter would be an adult by then. She'd have a life, memories. 20 years was enough. It had to be enough. I accept, she whispered. Louder. I accept. Adaura opened her eyes. 20 years. Then she returns to you. I accept. Mummy Wata's smile was terrible. Good. She reached out. Her hand was cold. Too cold. She touched Adaura's stomach. It's done. The cold spread through Adaura's body like ice water. She gasped. When she looked up, Mummy Wata was gone. The river was calm, normal, like nothing had happened. Adaura sat there shaking until dawn. 9 months later, she gave birth to a perfect baby girl. They named her Zikora. She was perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, healthy lungs that announced her arrival to the entire village. The women who'd whispered about Adaura's empty womb came to the compound with gifts and congratulations. God is faithful, they said. Adaura smiled, nodded, held her daughter close, and said nothing about the price. Obi was transformed. He carried Zikora everywhere those first months. Showed her to everyone. His mother finally stopped clicking her tongue. The talk of a second wife disappeared. See? Obi's mother said, holding her granddaughter. Prayer works. Adaura's hands shook every time someone said that. At night, she watched Zikora sleep, counted every breath, memorized every feature. 20 years. The number sat in her chest like a stone. Zikora grew fast, beautiful, smart. By age 3, she could count to 20. By 5, she was helping with compound chores. By 10, other mothers pointed to her as an example. Look how well behaved Zikora is, they told their own children. Why can't you be like her? She had Adaura's eyes, Obi's smile, and something else. Something that made people stop and stare. A glow to her skin. A brightness that seemed to come from inside. She's blessed, people said. Marked, Adaura thought. But she never said it out loud. The problem started with water. When Zipporah was 7, she asked to go to the river with the other girls. No, Adora said. Too fast, too sharp. Zipporah's face fell. But all my friends go. Not you. Why not? Because I said so. It became a pattern. Every time Zipporah wanted to swim, to play at the river, to join the other children in the water, Adora said, no. No explanation. Just no. Your mother is strange about that river, Obi said. He didn't push it though. Happy wife, happy life. But Zipporah noticed. Of course, she noticed. You let me take baths, she said when she was 12. You let me fetch water. Why can't I swim? It's dangerous. The other girls do it. You're not other girls. Zipporah's confusion turned to resentment. By 15, she stopped asking. She just obeyed, her face tight and confused every time. The dreams started around then. Mama, Zipporah said one morning, I keep dreaming about swimming. Deep water. It feels like home. Adora dropped the pot she was holding. It shattered on the ground. Don't talk like that, she said. But I said don't. Zipporah backed away. She'd never seen her mother like this. Wild-eyed, shaking. After rain, Zipporah's skin glowed just slightly. Just enough for Adora to notice. After baths, her daughter seemed happier, more energized, like water fed something inside her. She's always been healthy, the other women said. Never even a cough. What's your secret? Adora had no answer. The village thought she was an overprotective mother, paranoid, too controlling. They whispered about that instead of barrenness now. Different whispers, same shame. Let the girl live, Obi's mother said. You can't keep her locked up forever. But Adora tried. She tried so hard. She watched Zipporah constantly, invented reasons to keep her close, made up illnesses, anything to keep her away from that river. Zipporah was patient, loving, even when she didn't understand. I love you, Mama, she said on her 18th birthday, even when you're strange. Adora held her and cried. I love you too, Zipporah, more than you know. 2 years. She had 2 years left. Zipporah turned 19 on a Tuesday. Adora didn't sleep that night, or the next, or the one after that. Dark circles appeared under her eyes. Her hands developed a tremor that never quite stopped. She lost weight. Her wrapper hung loose on her frame. Are you sick? Obi asked. No. Then, what's wrong with you? Nothing. But everything was wrong. The countdown in her head never stopped. Days, then weeks, then months, ticking away like a death sentence. Because that's what it was. The death of everything. In 1 year, she'd lose her daughter. The daughter she'd raised, loved. The daughter who called her Mama and braided her hair and helped with cooking and had Obi's love and Adora's stubborn streak. Gone. Back to the water. Back to Mamiwata. Adora started following Zipporah everywhere. To the market, to the well, to other compounds. Always 3 steps behind. Always watching. Mama, why are you following me? Zipporah asked. I'm not following you. You're literally right behind me. I just wanted to, I need to. Adaura's voice broke. Can't I spend time with my daughter? Zikora's face softened. Of course you can, but you're acting strange. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. She wasn't fine. She was falling apart. At night, she lay awake listening to Zikora breathe in the next room, memorizing the sound. On her knees again, praying. But this time she wasn't praying for a child. She was praying to keep one. Please, she whispered. Please let me keep her. I'll do anything else. Take me instead. Just let her stay. The silence was absolute. Zikora had suitors. 3 young men who'd asked Obi about marriage. Good men, hard-working, from good families. She should marry soon, Obi said, before the best ones are taken. No, Adaura said. What do you mean, no? She's too young. She's 19. Your mother married at 16. She's staying home. Obi stared at her. You can't keep her forever, Adaura. She's a woman now. She needs her own life. But Adaura couldn't let her go. Not to marriage, not to another compound, not anywhere Adaura couldn't watch her every second. Zikora was patient about it. Too patient. It's okay, Papa, she told Obi. I don't mind waiting. Mama needs me. That made it worse somehow. Her daughter's sweetness, her understanding, her love, all of it would disappear in 1 year. The compound started to notice Adaura's behavior. She's lost her mind, Obi's mother whispered. Following that girl everywhere, not sleeping, not eating properly. Maybe she's sick, someone suggested. Maybe she's cursed, another voice said. The whispers started again. Different whispers, but whispers all the same. Obi tried to talk to her. Whatever's wrong, tell me, let me help. But how could she tell him? How could she explain that their perfect daughter was never really theirs, that she'd sold their child before she was even born, that in 1 year Zikora would walk into the river and never come back? She couldn't, so she said nothing, just watched and waited and fell apart slowly. Zikora's 20th birthday was on the calendar, circled in red. 6 months away, then 5, then 4. Adaura stopped sleeping completely. She sat outside Zikora's room every night. Just sat there, watching the door. Mama? Zikora found her there one morning. Did you sleep here? I wanted to be close to you. You're scaring me. I'm sorry. Adaura's voice cracked. I'm so sorry. Sorry for what? For everything. For the deal. For the price. For loving her daughter so much that losing her would destroy what was left of Adaura's soul. Nothing, she whispered. Go back to sleep. 3 months until the birthday. Then 2. Then 1. The date approached like an execution. Zikora's 20th birthday fell on a Saturday. Adaura tried to keep her inside, made up a headache, a stomachache, anything. Mama, I need to wash clothes, Zikora said. The bucket's full. I'll do it. You're sick. Rest. I'll go to the river quickly. No, Adaura grabbed her arm hard. You can't go to the river. You're hurting me. Adaura let go. Her hands were shaking. Please, stay home today. Zikora's face was concerned, worried. "Mama, what's wrong? You've been acting strange for months. Talk to me. Just stay home, please. The clothes need washing. I'll be back in an hour, I promise." She picked up the bucket, smiled, walked out of the compound before Adaora could stop her. Adaora ran after her, through the village, past the compounds. Her chest was tight. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think, just had to get to her daughter, Zikora, way. But Zikora was already at the river, already kneeling in the shallow water, already scrubbing the first piece of cloth. "Mama, I'm fine. See? I'm just—" She stopped, looked down at her legs. What? Adaora saw it too. A shimmer on Zikora's ankle, like sunlight on water, except it wasn't sunlight. It was scales, small ones at first, silver and blue, growing, spreading. "Mama?" Zikora's voice was small, confused. "Mama, what's happening?" The scales climbed her calves, her knees, shimmering, beautiful, wrong. "No," Adaora whispered. No, it's too soon. She just turned 20. We have the whole day. We have—" Zikora started screaming. Not words, just sound. Pure terror. She clawed at her legs, trying to scrape the scales off. They wouldn't come off. They just kept growing. "Mama, make it stop! What's happening to me?" Adaora splashed into the water, grabbed her daughter, tried to pull her toward shore. Zikora's skin was changing texture. Smooth, too smooth. Her legs wouldn't bend right. She kept screaming. "Help me, please. It hurts." Behind them, the water rippled. Adaora knew that ripple. She'd seen it 20 years ago. "No," she said. "No, you can't have her. Not yet. We have time. Mami Wata rose from the water, just as beautiful, just as terrible. "Hello, Adaora," she said. Her smile was cold. "Did you really think I would forget?" "It's not time yet," Adaora said. Her voice was shaking. "Her birthday just started. We have until midnight." "That's how it works. She's 20, Mami Wata said simply. "That was the deal." "Mama?" Zikora's screams had turned to sobs. "Mama, who is that? What's happening? Why do you know her?" The scales had covered both legs now. Zikora tried to stand, fell. Her legs wouldn't support her weight anymore. 3 days, Mami Wata said. The transformation takes 3 days. On the 3rd night, she enters the water or she dies on land. Those are her options. You never said. You never asked. Mami Wata's eyes moved to Zikora. "Hello, daughter. Welcome home." "I'm not your daughter," Zikora screamed. "I'm hers. Mama, tell her. Tell her I'm yours." But Adaora couldn't speak. Her throat was closed. Her worst nightmare was happening, and she couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't do anything. Mami Wata smiled once more, then sank back into the water. Zikora was still screaming, still clawing at the scales, still looking at her mother with eyes that were starting to change color, starting to look like the sea. "Mama, please!" she sobbed. "Please make it stop. Adaura grabbed her daughter, dragged her out of the water. Zikora's legs left a trail on the mud. She couldn't walk. The scales made her too slippery. "Home," Adaura said. Her voice didn't sound like her own. "We're going home." She half carried, half dragged Zikora back to the compound, both of them sobbing, both of them falling apart. 3 days. She had 3 days to fix this. They made it to the compound before anyone saw. Adaura shoved Zikora into her room, slammed the door. Zikora fell on the mat, her legs useless, still covered in spreading scales. "Don't come out," Adaura said. "Don't let anyone see you." "What's happening to me?" Zikora's voice was breaking. "Mama, please tell me what's happening." "I'll explain, I promise. Just stay here." Adaura ran to find cloth, long wrappers, anything to cover her daughter's legs. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She dropped things, picked them up, dropped them again. When she came back, Zikora was cold on the mat, still crying. The scales had reached her thighs. They caught the light from the window. Beautiful and horrible. "Here." Adaura wrapped the cloth around Zikora's legs. "Keep these covered. If anyone sees..." "I don't care who sees." Zikora's voice was raw. "I care why this is happening. Why do I have fish scales? Why do you know that woman? What did she mean I'm her daughter?" Adaura sat down hard. The floor was cold. She couldn't feel it. 20 years ago, she started. Her voice sounded dead. "I couldn't have children. Your father's family wanted him to take another wife. I was desperate." Zikora stopped crying, just stared. "I went to the river. I begged for help. She appeared. Mami Wata. She offered me a deal." "What deal?" "A child, a perfect child, 20 years." Adaura couldn't look at her daughter. 20 years with you, then you return to her. The silence was absolute. "You sold me." Zikora's voice was barely a whisper. "I didn't, I thought." Adaura's throat closed. "I thought I could find a way out. I thought maybe by the time you were 20, I could..." "You sold me." "Louder now." "You sold me to a monster for 20 years? She's not a..." "Look at me," Zikora screamed. She threw off the cloth. The scales were spreading, past her hips now, moving up her stomach. "Look what she's doing to me. Look at what you did to me." "I'm sorry, Zikora. I'm so sorry." "Sorry?" Zikora laughed. It sounded broken. "You're sorry? I'm turning into a fish and you're sorry?" She tried to stand, fell. The scales made her slip on the mat. She screamed in frustration, in pain, in rage. "I'm not your daughter," she said. Her voice was cold now, empty. "I'm your bargain, your deal, your 20-year loan." "Don't say that." "It's true." Zikora was sobbing again. "Everything was a lie. My whole life. You never loved me. You just..." "I love you more than anything." Adaura was on her knees. "Everything I did for you. You did it for yourself." Zikora threw a cup at her. Missed. It shattered on the wall. You were selfish. You made a deal with a demon, and now I'm... Her voice broke completely. She curled into herself. The scales caught the light. They were beautiful. That made it worse. Adaora reached for her. Zikora flinched away. Don't touch me. Zikora, get out. Adaora left. She sat outside the door. Listened to her daughter cry. Listened to her try to scrape the scales off. The sound of nails on skin. On scales that wouldn't come off. Inside the room, Zikora was gasping. Adaora realized her daughter was having trouble breathing. The air wasn't right anymore. Too dry, too thick, 2 more days. By morning, the scales had reached Zikora's chest. She couldn't stand at all. Her legs had fused together slightly. The bones were changing, reshaping. Mama, she whispered. Her voice was hoarse from screaming. Mama, I can't breathe right. Adaora brought water, poured it over Zikora's skin. The scales seemed to drink it. Zikora gasped in relief. More, she said. Please. Adaora kept pouring, kept watching her daughter's skin absorb the water, kept watching her become something else. I know someone, Adaora said. A healer in the next village. He's powerful. He can. Mama. Zikora's eyes were changing color. Grey now, like storm water. You know he can't help. We have to try. They left at night. Adaora carried Zikora wrapped in cloth. Her daughter was light, too light, like she was already half gone. The healer's compound was small, dark. It smelled like herbs and smoke. The old man took one look at Zikora and stepped back. No, he said. Please, Adaora begged. You have to help her. I can't break Mami Wata's claim. His voice was flat. No one can. There has to be a way. There isn't. He pointed at Zikora. Look at her. The transformation is already complete in her legs. By tomorrow, her lungs will change. By the day after, she'll need water to breathe. He paused. You can't stop this. I don't want to die, Zikora whispered. You won't die, the healer said, not unkindly. You'll just change. In 3 days, you'll need the water more than air. If you fight it, you'll suffocate on land. If you accept it, you'll breathe underwater. I don't want to breathe underwater. I want to be human. You were never fully human. He looked at Adaora. She was born from a spirit eel. She's half Mami Waters already. This was always going to happen. There has to be something, Adaora said. Anything. I'll pay. I can delay it. Slightly. 1 day. Maybe 2. But the price is high, and the pain will be worse. He shook his head. Let her go. It's kinder. I'm not letting her go. But the healer had already turned away. They went home. Zikora was worse. Her breathing was shallow, painful. She kept gasping like a fish on land, because that's what she was becoming. The scales had reached her neck. Her fingers were webbing. She looked at them and started crying again. I'm a monster, she whispered. You're not. Look at me. She held up her hands. The webbing between her fingers caught the lamplight. I'm turning into a monster and you did this to me. I'm sorry, Zikora. I'm so sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. Fix it. You made the deal. Now fix it. But Adaura couldn't. She didn't know how. 20 years of fear, and it had all been pointless. Mami Wata was taking her daughter, and there was nothing Adaura could do. One more day. By the second night, Zikora couldn't breathe at all without water. Adaura kept pouring it over her, on her face, down her throat, watching her daughter gasp and choke and fight to stay alive. The scales had reached Zikora's face. Just a few, along her temples, down her jaw. Her eyes were fully grey now. No white, no brown, just storm water grey. "Mama," she whispered. Her voice was wet, thick. "I'm scared." "I know, baby, I know. I don't want to leave you." Adaura held her, rocked her. "You're not leaving. I won't let her take you." But they both knew it was a lie. That night, after Zikora finally fell into an exhausted sleep, Adaura left the compound, back to the river, back to where it all started. She walked into the water, deeper than she should, deeper than was safe. "Mami Wata!" she screamed. "I know you can hear me." "Show yourself." The water rippled. Then she was there, rising like a dream, like a nightmare. "Adaura," she said, "you're persistent. Take me instead." Adaura was on her knees in the water. "She's innocent. I made the promise. Take me." "I don't want you." "Please! She has a whole life ahead of her. She's going to marry, have children. She's going to do all that in the water." Mami Wata's smile was cold. "She'll be happy. Eventually. They always are." "You're killing her." "I'm completing her. She was always mine. You just borrowed her. I'm her mother. You're the woman who raised her." Mami Wata moved closer. Her face was inches from Adaura's. "Tell me, mother, if you love her so much, why did you make the deal? Why did you agree to give her away?" "I was desperate." "You were selfish." Mami Wata's voice was soft, terrible. "You wanted to save your marriage, your reputation. You wanted to feel whole, so you sold a child who didn't even exist yet. And now you're surprised that debts must be paid?" "Please," Adaura sobbed. "Please don't do this." "I'm not doing anything. You did this 20 years ago. You." Mami Wata paused. "But I'll give you a choice." "What choice?" "You can come too. Both of you, mother and daughter, together in the water, forever." Her smile widened. "Or you can stay on land and lose her completely. Those are your options." "That's not a choice. It's more than you gave your daughter." Mami Wata sank back into the water. Adaura knelt there until dawn. The water soaked through her wrapper, made her skin wrinkle, made her shiver. When she got back to the compound, Zikora was barely conscious. Her skin was cracking, drying out. She was trying to breathe air and it was killing her. "Mama," she whispered, "it hurts." "I know, baby, I know." "Tomorrow night," Zikora said. "Tomorrow night it ends, one way or another. Tomorrow night, the third night, When she'd either walk into the water or die on land, Adaora held her daughter and counted the hours. The third day broke with grey sky. Zikora was unconscious. Her breathing was barely there. Little gasps. Her skin had turned grey-blue. The scales covered everything now except her face. She looked beautiful, terrible, like something from a dream. Adadora knew what she had to do. She'd known since Mummy Water gave her the choice. Since she'd walked back from the river at dawn. Since she'd seen her daughter dying slowly on the mat. Some decisions don't need time. They just need courage. She waited until noon, until Zikora woke up one more time. Mama? Her voice was barely there. A whisper. Is it time? Yes, baby. It's time. I'm scared. I know. Adaora brushed hair from Zikora's face. The scales on her daughter's temples caught the light. But you won't be scared for long. Will it hurt? I don't know. Maybe. But then it'll be over. Zikora nodded. She tried to sit up. Couldn't. Her body didn't work right anymore. Not for land. Not for air. Can you carry me? She asked. I can't walk. Of course I can. Adadora lifted her daughter. She was so light now, like holding water, like holding air. They left the compound in the afternoon. No one saw them. Everyone was at market, at the well, living their normal lives while Adaora's world ended. The walk to the river felt like forever, felt like seconds. Zikora's head rested on Adaora's shoulder. Her breathing was wet, struggling. Each breath was harder than the last. Mama? Yes, I forgive you. Adaora almost dropped her. What? I forgive you. Zikora's grey eyes looked up at her. You were desperate. You were scared. You made a mistake. But you loved me. I know you loved me. I did. I do. More than anything. Then, let me go. They reached the river bank. The water was calm, waiting, like it had been waiting for 20 years. Adadora set Zikora down on the mud. Her daughter immediately gasped in relief. The moisture from the ground helped her breathe. In the water, Zikora whispered. Put me in. Wait. Adaora stepped into the water first, walked until it was waist deep. Then she called out, Mummy Water, I'm here. We're both here. The water rippled. Then she rose, beautiful, terrible, smiling. Adaora, she said, have you made your choice? I have. And Adaora looked back at the shore, at her daughter lying on the mud, gasping, dying. I'm coming too, Adaora said. Both of us, together. That was the offer. Both of us in the water, or I lose her completely. Her voice was steady now, clear. I choose both of us. Mummy Water's smile widened. You're sure? There's no coming back, no changing your mind. Once you transform, you're mine, forever, I'm sure. What about your husband? Your life? Everything you fought so hard to keep? None of it matters without her. Mummy Water laughed. It sounded like waves on rocks. Love. How predictable. How human. She nodded. Very well, bring her in. Adadora went back to shore. lifted Zikora one more time. "Mama, what are you doing? Coming with you." "No," Zikora tried to push away. "No, Mama, you can't." "I'm not losing you." Adaura's voice was firm, final. "If you go to the water, I go to the water. We stay together. That's the deal I'm making." "But Papa will understand, or he won't." "But you're my daughter, and I'm not letting you go alone." She carried Zikora into the water. Immediately, her daughter gasped in relief. The water was life, air, everything she needed. Adaura waded deeper, up to her chest, then her neck. Then she was swimming, holding Zikora, moving toward where Mami Wata waited. "Both of you," Mami Wata said. "Together, how touching." She reached out, touched Adaura's forehead. "It will hurt. More than you can imagine. Your body wasn't made for this. But after, you'll be with your daughter. Forever. I don't care about the pain." "You will." Mami Wata smiled. "You really will." The pain started in Adaura's feet, like fire, like ice. Like every nerve was being ripped apart and remade. She screamed, tried to climb out of the water. But Mami Wata held her there. "Mama," Zikora was crying. "Let her go, please. She doesn't deserve this." "She chose this," Mami Wata said. "Love demands sacrifice. She's finally learning the real price." Adaura's legs were fusing, bones breaking, reshaping, scales erupting from her skin. She couldn't breathe. The air was wrong. The water was wrong. Everything was wrong. She went under, thrashed, fought. Zikora grabbed her mother, held her. "Breathe the water, Mama. Stop fighting. Breathe the water." Adaura's lungs were burning, screaming for air. But there was no air, just water, just pain, just... She gasped. Water flooded her lungs, and she could breathe. The pain stopped, all at once, just gone. She opened her eyes, underwater, and she could see perfectly, clearly. Zikora was next to her, fully transformed, beautiful. Her scales shimmered silver and blue. Her tail moved naturally, like she'd always had one. Adaura looked down at herself. Scales, tail, fins where her arms used to be. She was a monster. No, not a monster. Something else. Something new. Mama? Zikora's voice was clear underwater. Are you okay? Yes, I think so. They floated there. Mother and daughter, changed. Together, Mami Wata circled them. "Welcome home," she said. "Both of you, you belong to the deep now, to me forever." Adaura should have been terrified, should have been screaming. But looking at her daughter, alive, breathing, happy, forever, she said. Together, they swam deeper, away from the shore, away from the sun, into the dark water where the spirits lived. On the bank, Adaura's wrapper floated, empty. The only sign they'd ever been there. Obi searched for 3 days. The whole village searched. They found nothing. No bodies, no signs of struggle. just Adaora's wrapper on the riverbank and Zikora's washing bucket tipped over in the mud. The river took them, the elders said. Sometimes it does that, takes people who belong to it. Obi's mother wailed, beat her chest. My granddaughter, my son's wife, both gone. But the fisherman knew better. I saw something, one said. That evening, 2 women swimming. But they weren't women. Not exactly. They had tails. Mermaids, another whispered. The story spread, grew, changed. By the end of the week, everyone had a theory. By the end of the month, it was legend. The woman who begged the river for a child. The daughter who was always too perfect. The mother who followed her everywhere, paranoid about water. The transformation on the 20th birthday. The choice to go together. Mami Wata takes what she's owed, the old women said. Always. That's why you don't make deals with spirits. Obi never remarried. He sat by the river sometimes, staring at the water, wondering if they were happy down there, if they were together, if it was worth it. He died 10 years later, quiet, alone. Some people said he died of heartbreak. Others said he died of guilt for not noticing his wife's desperation 20 years ago. The compound was sold. New families moved in. They didn't know the story. Didn't know that 2 women had walked into the river and never came back. But the river knew. Sometimes, on quiet nights, fishermen reported seeing 2 figures swimming together in the deep water. One older, one younger, both with tails that caught the moonlight, both singing songs that made your heart ache. Don't listen to them, the old women warned. Mermaids sing to lure you in, to make you join them. Cover your ears and look away. But some young men listened anyway. Some walked to the river at night. Some never came back. The village learned to give offerings before fishing, before swimming, before taking anything from the sacred water. They learned respect. They learned fear. Young mothers whispered warnings to their daughters. Never beg the spirits for what you cannot afford to lose. Never make promises you cannot keep. Never underestimate the price of desperation. And at the river, the water flowed calm and patient, waiting, watching, keeping its secrets deep below the surface, in caves that sunlight never reached. Adaora and Zikora lived their new life. It was strange at first. The darkness, the pressure, the other spirits who lived in the deep, but they were together. Adaora taught Zikora the old songs, the ones her own mother had taught her. They sounded different underwater, more haunting, more beautiful. Zikora showed her mother how to swim fast, how to catch fish with her bare hands, how to navigate by feeling the currents. They were different now, changed, not human anymore, but not entirely spirit either, something in between, something new. Mami Wata kept them close those first years, teaching them, shaping them, making them useful. You made a good choice, she told Adaora once. Most mothers would have let their daughters go, would have chosen their own lives, but you chose love. That's rare among humans. It wasn't a choice, Adaora said. It was the only option. Then you understand now why I took her, why I had to. Mami Wata smiled. Every spirit was human once. Every human who loved too much, who sacrificed too much, who couldn't let go. The water takes those souls, makes them useful, makes them powerful. Is that supposed to comfort me? It's supposed to explain. Mummy Water swam away. You have eternity now. Use it well. 20 years after the transformation, Adaura barely remembered being human. The memories were there, fuzzy, distant, like dreams from someone else's life. She remembered Obi's face, the compound, the feel of sun on her skin, but they felt like stories she'd heard, not things she'd lived. Zikora remembered more. She was younger when she changed. The human part stayed stronger, longer. Do you miss it? Adora asked her once. The land, being human. Sometimes, Zikora admitted. I miss the sun. I miss walking. I miss Papa. She paused. But I don't miss being afraid, and I wouldn't want to be there without you. They learned to be content, not happy. Contentment was different than happiness, but it was enough. They had each other. They had eternity. They had the deep water and the ancient songs and the slow, patient rhythm of the sea. And sometimes, when they swam close to shore, they could hear the village women teaching their daughters. Never make deals with the spirits. Never promise what you cannot give. Never forget that love demands sacrifice, and sacrifice demands love. The story lived on, changed, grew, became legend, became warning, became the kind of tale mothers told to keep daughters safe. And in the deep water, Adaura and Zikora listened and remembered what it cost to be together. The village learned what their grandmothers had always known. Desperation makes you foolish. Love makes you brave. But some bargains should never be made. Mummy Water doesn't forget. The water doesn't forgive. And a promise to the spirits is a debt that must be paid. The river still flows calm and patient, waiting. And mothers now teach their daughters, never beg the water for what you cannot afford to lose, because the spirits are always listening, and they always collect. If you enjoy this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more.